Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, you are not seeing things. Oh, my bad. You're not seeing things. Scruff didn't just get super sexy. My name is Brogan Kerrison, and I'm your host for today. We've got, you might know this guy. Who is this guy? Who are you?
G'day, team. I am Scruff, a.k.a. Rubin Gray, you know. Most people normally call me Scruff. Over here, though, probably more get called Rubin, actually, now that you say it, to be honest.
I call you Rubin.
Yeah. Does anyone call me Scruff, actually, now that I think about it?
On the odd chance, I suppose.
I think Alistair does, maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
no, fuck. I don't think he does, actually.
No, even then. I think it's dictated depend.
I think some people use it as a joke, like Jaden and shit, sometimes.
Scruffy, yeah. Same thing with Broco.
Yeah, hard.
Anyways, this is the last, this is episode number 30.
Episode 30, yep.
Scruff asked me to interview him, and which I thought was a good idea. He's always interviewing, talking to other people, so I'm kind of, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Why are we listening to you?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm actually quite a big deal.
Yeah.
So I run this podcast called Scruffy Chinwag.
Oh,
right?
you don't say.
Cheers, anyway.
Mate. Actually, cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers for 30 episodes.
Cheers to 30. Cheers to 30. Yeah, well, I closed out the other episode, the other season, A Remedy for Curiosity, with Brando doing the hosting duties. So I thought we'd close this series out with yourself. You've been involved with the whole process, doing the audio, and you were the first feature, and gave me the Google Home system, which is not going to be with us today because you're fucked off.
I took that. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
That actually, you're touching on that point. I did have that. My question to you is, what made you start this podcast? What even made you want to do the podcast? It might not be
this series in particular.
Well, just a podcast in general.
Podcast in general. Okay, so Scruffy Chinwags originated just in. The idea came to me in 2017 when I was kind of like really into podcasts in general. I was listening to your Jordan Petersons religiously, your Joe Rogans, your Jocko Willinks, and among many others.
Yeah.
Mostly Jordan Peterson. And then I was like, fuck yeah, that's gangster. I was talking to Brandon about it. Like, that's cool. Like, we could do that, bro. Like, that's pretty easy to do. Like, I know enough about audio to suss this out. And then we'll just use my phone as the camera. This phone quality
Which has
camera.
actually worked out incredibly well.
Works fine, eh? Like, it's actually not that hard to get started. Because my mum and dad, shout out, just got me some stuff for Christmas. Got me the interface, which you need, which, like, helps you send the microphones to the computer. And then I just needed a couple of mics, a couple of mic stands, mic leads. That's pretty much all you need. I just had heaps of random shit around. So... Hey, there he is.
He's my replacement.
New flatty.
Probably a
Might
better-
hear from him later.
Yeah, actually. Passing through.
But
Okay.
yeah, anyway. And then I got to the end of 2017 when I was living in Kaitaia and started to think about it a bit more. I was like, let's do this. Because I was moving to Melbourne. I decided I was going to move to Melbourne in March. So I had 2 months pretty much of like... limbo. What am I going to do with this 2 months with myself? So I decided to start trying to do a podcast to fill up some of that time. Recorded 14 episodes, and then I released them after I had recorded them all. Whereas with this series, I've been releasing them on the go, which has kind of put a bit more pressure on it. I think I actually prefer the pre-recording approach. But yeah, that's kind of how it all started. The reason I wanted to do it though, like, is because obviously I like held these people that were doing them in high regard. I'd learned a lot from them, and I was like, fuck yeah, like these people are just sharing their point of view with the world, and like, not saying that my point of view is something that you necessarily need to listen to, but it's
willing to put it out there at least.
if you want to listen to it, it's there, you know.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy just being able to have someone's undivided attention for like hour and a half.
Yeah.
You hardly get that anymore. Like, everyone's always going to look at their phone at some point in that conversation. It's a real fucking conversation. You know,
Activating.
it's dying. It's fucking dying. It's a shame. And it's just cool to like, it trains your communication skills as well.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
That was kind of what I'm thinking. That was my question. I mean, you say that like a time filler and stuff, which I mean, as you say it, when you think about, oh, how am I going to start a podcast? I'm going to need these microphones. I'm going to need this and that. But you can probably, like you said, you scrap things together to make it happen anyway.
Yeah, this is low grade. Like everything I've got is low grade, but it does the job.
And you still get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, was there like for example, you wanted to put yourself out there a bit more and work on, say, like a confidence thing? Is that why you wanted to do it, or was it purely just due to like you wanting to fill times before you came to Melbourne, kind of thing?
I wouldn't say I did it to build confidence, but to build skills, yeah, and to deepen relationships with people.
Or learn how to deepen, or even like the art of conversation, like you were saying before.
Interviewing is an art in itself as well. Like being able to steer a conversation almost where you want it to go, but being able to do that in an organic manner. Like not forcing a conversation to go somewhere, just letting it arise.
Kind of flow into to wherever.
100%. That's how I operate with these podcasts. I have a few topic points that I think about beforehand.
Yeah.
And I write them down in case like we hit a brick wall, and then it's like, fuck,
go?
oh, well, what do you think about this? Random, just out of the blue, because you need to keep it going. But I try to like intertwine things and keep the conversation flowing. So being able to do that is really good because that's pretty much applicable anywhere in the world.
100%, if you can speak the language.
Yeah, if you can speak the language. If you can hold a conversation with someone, it automatically makes you...
More desirable?
Not desirable. Desirable is not the right word, I don't think. But you're better equipped to develop the desire with someone.
Okay.
But maybe you could also...
Oh, right, yeah, I'm with you now. Like, okay, that makes sense.
But maybe you could also come across as a bit... I don't know, in the words of Rick, super uncharismatic to ask questions. Like, he says it to Morty in one of the episodes, like, you ask a lot of questions, Morty. It's uncharismatic. And it's like, that's what an interviewer does. He asks a question. But I suppose that's also part, like, I do ask questions a lot in general because I'm curious about shit. Like, a remedy for curiosity, that was my remedy for curiosity. Like, I'm poking at people and being like, what the fuck? What do you think about that? Like, why do you think that? And how did you come to that conclusion as well? But not just the long form conversation. That's really the big element of it for me.
For those who might just be listeners, the scruff that you see here is actually the scruff that you'll see in life without a camera, without a microphone in front. It's not.
I try.
Well, I think it's. You're naturally a curious person. So it's not a put-on fact where you go, tell me about this in your life and how that affected you. You literally want to know, where sometimes I think people will try and, like you're saying before, being able to, the art of conversation and being good at it, you can relate to more people in general.
Yeah.
But like, if you're fake about it and just asking fake questions, people can kind of see through that. And I think it puts people off. They're kind of like, okay, this guy is more trying to dig at me and trying to find things that maybe I don't like, instead of just a genuine conversation or something like that.
Well, if you're asking someone a question, you're demanding something of yourself as the question answer as well. You have to listen. Like, if you're going to ask a question and you don't listen to the answer, like, why did you ask the question in the first place? So that, to actually want to listen to someone, because there's so many people that you could listen to. It's like, why the fuck should I listen to this person? You have to have, the curiosity is almost a prerequisite, I would say. If you don't have the desire to hear another point of view, or like the answer to the question that you have, or maybe there'll never be an answer to the question you have, but even just to be able to talk about it, that's a starting point. And getting someone's point of view on something is second to none, because then you can start to kind of incorporate all the different point of views. But you have to listen to all the point of views before you can decide on what your point of view is, or even just maybe you never get to decide on what your point of view is.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, I suppose, say you ask me a question on something I have no idea on, I haven't even thought about it. As we kind of converse about it, maybe it's only as we start talking about it, then I actually generate my own opinion. maybe it's something I haven't even thought about, and then you say, I don't like this person, and then it triggers something in me to be like, actually, I do like that person.
Totally.
And then you create so I suppose in that way, a conversation can make you think about things that you've never thought about.
Yeah, and in that example that you say there, where you don't really develop opinion until in the conversation, like that is the process of thinking. Like a conversation is two people trying to think together. It's two brains coming together to try and work out some sort of problem. And I'm quite like disagreeable in nature, so I will quite often adopt an opinion and just be stubborn on that opinion to see if I can just win with that opinion. Whereas
whether you believe it or not,
whether I believe it or not, I'll try and make a good claim for it, because I think every side of an argument has a good say, and it should be expressed the best way it can. So say, for example, you're like, I think aliens are real, and then I'll be like, well, you have no proof of that. And then that'll be my starting point. I'll take the opposite side. But the podcast has helped me not be like that as much, I think, because it's made me be more like, rather than treating it like a debate or a competition, in the podcast, I'm more, as an interviewer, I'm kind of like more just trying to listen and absorb their point of view and being curious about why they think that. I mean, some of the times I'm still just like, my opinions and my biases are going to get in the way, and I'm going to be like, well, that's bullshit, bro.
Natural frustration.
Yeah.
But actually, that's because before I didn't know what podcasts were until I had met you. I think I would have heard about it. The only one I had heard about was Hamish and Andy.
Yeah, right.
And even then, I had like listened to I don't really listen to podcasts. The only ones I do listen to are the ones your ones, because I'm working on them.
Yeah,
and because they're amazing.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan stuff. Until I actually, and that's what I like about Joe Rogan. He literally is there to. He might totally disagree with you on whatever you're talking about, but he still wants to know why you think like that, or why you hold that opinion in the first place.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's very. I feel like he's quite fluid in his opinions as well. Like he might have one dude on that says something, and he'll be like, "Totally, bro, I agree with that." And then another guy.
You think he changes it depending on who they are?
I feel like he does a little bit. Like it does a little bit, but I think you have to do that as an interviewer, because that opens the realm of discussion. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if I was just too headstrong and like straight away disagreed with someone's opinion, then it shuts them down and it puts them on the like defense, and like then it's a back and forth battle of us trying to be stubborn, winning our biases. But if I start off by acknowledging that point of view is valid and that it has like there's parts of that point of view that I agree with, then it already sets the ground off like with some commonalities, which is so important for human interaction. People love to have like a commonality to work from.
And they don't feel like you're attacking them. Like it's like, okay, you have the stance, I have the stance, now let's argue.
Yeah.
It's I have the stance, what's your stance? Oh, okay, I agree with your stance, so you get them flowing, I suppose.
Totally.
In a way, but it doesn't mean you have to agree with them, I suppose.
No, it's never a case of having to agree with them. It's just listening to their opinion so you can better understand their opinion. Because if you're trying to develop an argument against anything, if you can listen to their opinion of someone else, then it's going to make your argument stronger, because you're going to be more vigilant of to how that point of view is going to come at you with certain facts, stats. You're ready for those jabs. It's like training anything, bro. Like at the start when you're doing boxing, I'm not a boxer, but like you don't know how to punch at all, and then you learn like the mechanics behind a jab, and then once you learn the mechanics behind the jab, you like learn the mechanics behind a straight. Like I'm guessing here a little bit, and then once you're getting really good at those, you're also learning how to stop those from affecting you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Or what times to use those things.
Exactly.
Well,
so if someone's coming at you in a debate with a jab, and you know how to dodge a jab, then you're better equipped. So that's why you should listen to someone who has a different opinion, because they might hit you with a jab and hit you square in the face the first time, but then next time you're going to be ready for the jab, so you can dodge it and hit them back with something else.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, because you were just saying before we kind of went off, like that is, in essence, is the art of, I don't want to say a debate, because you might not be debating something. You might just be trying to even prove a point or even just put your point across. But today, with you're saying with people just picking up their phones, I mean, you look. All you have to do is get onto a train, and you see nobody's conversing.
It's crazy.
But do you think this what we're talking about here, that as an art form of being able to converse, do you think that we're in a point where we might lose that if we don't actually start conversing more with others that are outside of our circles?
That's why I fucking love podcasts, because it does open up the gate to do that. And so, yeah, my answer would be yes, I do think that we are in danger of losing that part of reality, which is, seems to me like a case of throwing the baby out with the bathwater with these technological developments. To use your example of the phones on a train, like, it's fucking crazy, bro. Like, you don't ride the train near as much as me, but every day, like, everyone's doing something. Not many people are just sitting there thinking, or like, not many people, hardly anyone's open to a conversation. It feels, at least, maybe everyone feels like this. That's the thing.
It almost seems like I had this yesterday. I was in an elevator.
Socially enforced, yeah.
Yeah, I was in an elevator, and there was another dude, probably looked around the same age to me. When he got into the thing, he was talking on the phone. He was like, yeah, I'm just coming downstairs now. I'll see you soon. So I kind of guess we were going to the same place. We were just going down to the pub.
Yeah.
And I was about to say something to him like, couple beers on a Friday or something.
Yeah.
But I just didn't.
Yeah.
Because one, I freaked out, and two, like, I had this thought to myself. I was like, people kind of might see me as weird. Like, oh, why is he talking to me?
Yeah.
Is he crazy? Is he one of those crazy ones?
So bullshit, but that is totally a real fucking thing that we contend with now.
We have to. Yeah. That's
like, you think about back in the day where people were like more like starving for a conversation. It feels like they're actually like, look at your relationship with your neighbors now. Do you have a relationship with your neighbors? I know I don't.
I haven't even met.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't either.
My neighbors,
But back in the day, I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, the neighborhood culture was a thing. Whereas now we're so connected.
Yeah, it's constantly.
Connected, I say, in quotation marks.
Feel that too.
That it's like, and that's why I also feel like the danger of these like technological developments that are pushing us away from each other, yet connecting us.
Yeah.
But pushing us away physically from each other and making us scared to interact with people in your elevator situation. I think that it empowers our desire to and our temptation to indulge in alcohol and stuff, because the spaces where we do indulge in alcohol, there's almost a different set of rules to society. It's almost like if you sat in a pub on your phone the whole day, like the whole night on your phone, they're going to be like, well, why are you here? This is like, we've almost sectioned off parts of our world now where you're allowed to go up to someone and be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Where you're allowed to be social. Whereas other places, like a train, it feels like there's a weird etiquette that you don't really...
Oh, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I
You're
feel
fucking
that.
with this shit. But maybe that's all in our head. But maybe it's collectively in our head that we're scared to interact with someone. Because if I do interact with someone, they're normally really polite. And then most of the time I'm just like, they talk back.
Yeah. He's actually there. He or she's actually willing to say
Like,
something back to me.
shit, where do I go?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Nice.
Thanks for the chat.
Have a good one. Take it easy. Yeah.
But that's so right. I mean, like, take your train situation. Even if you connect eyes with someone, it's kind of like, oh shit.
Look away quick.
Yeah,
Look away quick.
Don't look in that direction.
As though you're trying to like forget that you even connected.
Yet in a club, when you're drunk, you can dance with. You might see the same dude dance with 4 different chicks.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like a chick dance with 4 different dudes.
100%.
And total randoms. And like with the eye contact thing, you might get eye contact, and instead of being like, don't look away, you're kind of like, okay, let's go that way.
And such more of a forward manner as well. Like it seems like if you took the two situations away from each other, the alcohol situation seems way more socially unacceptable. Like walking up to someone and being dancing with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Or on them. Whereas walking up to someone on a train and like just being like, yo, that shouldn't be
That shouldn't be weird.
That shouldn't be
That
weird.
never was. That never
But it
used
is
to be weird.
Well, I don't know. I never like went on trains and shit.
The only like, I suppose the only thing that I think it wasn't weird, because like I've been on a tram situation where there was like an older man, and there was a lady reading a magazine, and he kind of just turned to her to talk.
Yeah.
And she was just like, why are you talking to me?
Real.
Yeah, kind of thing. And even the people around were kind of like looking at this guy like, oh, is he a weirdo? Like trying to figure. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's a perv. And maybe that's why people don't do that kind of thing anymore. Like they don't want to be seen as like, if you're the nice guy, you might be a perv. Yeah, or something.
Which is so bullshit. So like that means that your attraction level is so fucking important now when encountering people in random situations. Because if I'm a guy, if I'm an ugly dude, as the ugly dude I am, no, fuck off you. I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that bullshit. And then walking down the street, I walk up to a girl. She's not attracted to me. She's not gonna react well. You know?
Yeah.
She's gonna react in the same way that girl with the magazine reacted to the old guy.
Yeah.
Similar, like closed off, like kind of give you those weird body hints where it's like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm kind of up here, you're down here.
Yeah.
But if it's the other way around, if I'm a super attractive guy that I am, and then walk up to a girl, like this girl's demeanor all of a sudden has changed completely.
100%. I 100% agree. You see it happen. You see it happen in front of you, just in your workplace.
And whether it's sexual or not, like, but there's underlying sexual tones to it all, obviously, with attraction in general. But even if it's like within I don't know, like if there was a really good looking girl and like started talking to an old man, an old grumpy man, he's gonna be way more like welcoming of that conversation. Like this old man doesn't normally conversate with people. He's like, fuck off. I'm just doing my thing, being grumpy.
Leave me alone.
You know? Yeah. Sexy girl comes along. He's all of a sudden perked up because, like obviously he doesn't actually think this is going to move forward with any sexual advancements.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm hoping that.
Well,
this
mate,
old man's
let's
not
go with that.
stupid.
He's not.
Yeah. But if it's like a not so attractive girl comes up with the exact same situation, grumpy man might just be like,
Yeah, exactly.
no.
no, thanks. Well, I mean, take in my situation on the tram, take the old guy out of it, and put a young, like, ripped, 23-year-old guy. She would have 100%. Well, I mean, I guess we're just guessing here, but 9 times out of 10, would have turned around and been happy to kind of converse in that way. And I do think it's like we can trust. If you're good looking, I can trust you.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I don't know. You could be crazy. You might want something else from me or whatever.
Which is why I think people were fascinated with that Ted Bundy stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Because he was like that good-looking psychopath.
Yeah. What was that? And the same dude with? Oh yeah, there and Marilyn Manson. What's his name? Mr. Manson, the guy that killed heaps of people. Charles Manson. Oh, he had a cult of like
cult of women behind him.
Female
I don't know
followers
much
and
about
that.
I loved that movie though. It was a good movie. Yeah.
I had some other kind of questions I wanted to ask you. Basically, based on Kiwis and Melbs.
Go.
Kiwis and Melbs itself. What made you even move to Australia?
Australia. Melbourne.
Straws.
Yeah.
Straws? No one says straws.
Well, don't do that. What made me move here?
Was it
Music industry inspirations, man. Aspirations to try suss a job here in the industry, and I don't know.
Not that you couldn't do that in New Zealand.
I felt like I couldn't. I felt like, well, I didn't feel like I couldn't, but I feel like I'd have a better chance here. Like I've always said it throughout this podcast, Melbourne's the fucking size of New Zealand in population, like all squeezed in one place. Naturally, more opportunities are going to arise from that. Melbourne's known for its arts industry. It's like the live music capital of the world now. Most live music venues per capita. It's way more vibrant here with the music scene, and there's more shit happening. I'm happy with the move over, but also just in general, been one to constantly like seek change. Like when I get comfortable, I start to get a little bit stressed, agitated, like feel like I'm locked down a little bit. Maybe I don't know. When I'm in those situations where I've just starting to grow too comfortable, like I said it to myself a long time ago. I was like, if you ever get too comfortable, like it's time to move on. And the best way for like direct change, the most reliable way for that is moving. Like, I don't know, but I feel pretty. Melbourne was just cool. When I came over, I visited you before I moved over, and I had a look around the city. I was like, yo, this place is dope. This place is dope. And then, I don't know, I just felt like it was time to jump over. Australia's like not too far away from home. I have a good safety net. Because I was tossing up moving to LA as well, because that's the big industry.
That's a big move.
That's the big industry. And I was like, and I had friends there and stuff because I had done my exchange program in Oregon.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could go there, but way more fucking hurdles to worry about. You got visas for one. You're far away from home. You got a big fuck off student loan that you got to worry about with interest. So it's just easier to jump over here where it's closer to home. Similar culture. It's pretty much just an extended New Zealand here, man.
I feel it pretty much is.
Yeah.
Except they earn more money here.
They earn more money here.
A lot
The
more
wages are
money.
way better. And fuck,
Dang.
man, like
Dang.
I found the jackpot with this place in terms of rent and shit. Like $130 a week with all bills. Let's go.
Because I remember before I was thinking about moving over, that's what everyone would say. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Melbourne. Oh, don't go there, Australia. It's so expensive. Like, to live over there, it's real expensive, man. It'll be hard. You can do it if you want, but it'll be hard, man. It's expensive. You get here, it's like, bread's still $1. Right?
Yeah.
Baked beans are still $1. I mean, sure, who wants to eat bread and baked beans? But if you've got to,
You're
gonna
Push
make
comes
it
to
work.
shove, man. I know how to live for nothing. Like,
Yeah.
student days taught me that shit. Like,
actually, as a
but
little
it's not even more expensive to live here. That's just
I don't think so
it's
either.
complete bullshit, man. Like, the standard of living here is pretty much the same as back home, I would say. And then the price of it's pretty much the same. It's all relative to how much you're earning as well. If you're earning more, then like you can afford this shit.
Exactly, you can kind of do it.
Housing is like, I'm an exception with my housing situation, but it's no different to Auckland or Wellington.
Yeah.
Like, those places have skyrocketed in pricing.
Auckland, would be worse. That was the thing that my brother said
reckon
to
it's
me.
worse,
He was like, don't. If you're gonna go somewhere, don't go to Auckland. That's not. It's only getting more expensive.
Yeah.
You may as well go to the big pond. You know.
Yeah.
And before you kind of go to this, if you go to the sea in LA or whatever.
Yeah.
But go to a bigger pond. Try swim with more people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't regret the decision.
Yeah, I suppose that was part of my motivation to move here as well. The bigger pond thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of put yourself. Yeah, actually, as a little interlude, can you give us a quick little bio? So you started school, you left high school. What high school did you go to? Then you went where? What did you do?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to hear that actually.
Okay. I grew up in Balclutha, right down the bottom, hour south of Dunedin there. Started out on a farm. Dad's a farmer. Went to primary school, Rosebank School. Small school, yeah. Small school.
Place in general.
Yeah, small place. 4,000 people in Balclutha.
Oh,
Yeah, she's tiny. And then maybe it's 5,000 now, you know. We might be moving on to bigger things over there.
big time.
Then did uni at Otago Uni.
Yeah.
That was cool. Did an exchange program to America, to Oregon. That was
What age?
for 6 months. Hey,
What age were you? 18?
21. 21, bro. I wouldn't go to America if I wasn't 21.
Drinking age.
Yeah, drinking age, motherfucker.
Makes sense.
And then I moved to Kaitaia for a year, and then I moved here. That's my geographical bio, at least.
Moved around.
I've been a fair few places, yeah.
Yeah.
I like moving around, yeah. It's good.
Learned some lessons, I suppose. What would you
Learned
say the
some
biggest
lessons.
lesson, if someone was looking to come over to Melbourne,
Mm.
what would be the biggest lesson that you've learnt that you could probably pass on to them? Or maybe just one piece of advice.
Piece of advice. Best piece of advice I could give to someone moving to Melbourne.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Let me think. I would say, there's whatever you want to do, I'd try to figure it out beforehand, before moving.
So having like a clear direction before you even...
Not necessarily a clear direction, but a direction of what you want to do. Because then Melbourne's so big that it's paralyzing as well.
Yeah, agreed.
You can do everything here, and one of those things is partying, and partying is really fun here, and that can like break your bank before you even know it. So if you come here with an intention of what you're trying to do here, then it can like kind of, you have a better grip on the reins, you know, like, and you know where you're trying to go, where you're trying to situate yourself, what suburbs you can look around, what type of events you're looking to go to, because there's fucking all the events under the sun here, and all the different cultures under the sun. That's like, you can better equip yourself to get ready if you know where you want, why you're moving here. So have a why behind your move. In saying that, if you don't have a why, like maybe you move here and find a why. Like,
Yeah, well, see, that's the hard thing. But I think, like, if you have a why, you need to be able to be fluid. That why might actually change while you're here. If you had
100%.
if you had a sort of inkling as to what you want to do here, and then say in a couple of years you move to a different sector or whatever it is from one place to the other. If you're fluid with that move, then things should hopefully work out.
It's the same with any directional piece of advice. Like, you've always got to be ready for the doors to open up to other opportunities, and be ready for that. Be ready for the fork in the road that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
And don't be scared of it either. Like, don't be afraid to change your goals and your mindset when something like presents itself that is pretty desirable. But, you know, having a goal from the start is good, I think, because that just helps you. You can start moving towards something rather than just moving for no reason. If you're moving towards something, then you can approach that fork in the road when it comes, you know, and then you might have been aiming for directly in front of you, and then you end up completely to the east, you know, or the right, or I don't know, whatever, backward. Hopefully not backward.
Let's not go backwards. But whatever you learned in between that journey, I think that's probably the most important, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to realize, I think.
Yeah, it's a constant battle, I think, like trying to find the balance between being, resilient enough to continue to pursue a goal and a direction. Because there is an element of that for sure. Like, no road's going to be easy to get somewhere you want to go. And it shouldn't be. Like, it shouldn't be easy to get where you want to go. But you should also be taking on everything along the way and be ready to change it and enjoy the journey. But it's like such a hard balance, bro. It's weird balance.
Yourself, you came over here with the direction of music.
Yeah. And music business industry, yeah.
Looking back, so you've been here almost 2 years. 2 years?
Yeah. Year and a half, I
Year and a
guess.
half?
I've spent a fuckload of time at home, so yeah, a year and a half.
Thinking about things that you've done, obviously the podcast. You've also got a line of short stories, which are actually available on the website.
Yeah, blogs more, opinion
Blogs.
pieces, I'd say. Yeah, just random thoughts. Yeah, they're through Scruffy Chinwags too. Check them out.
Involved with a music label over here called Alt Music.
Alt Music Group, shout out to the team at Alt Music Group.
Yes. I'd say that's probably a massive part of like you actually coming over here. And recently, you've just been a part of Sony internship, trying to.
Yeah, it was up.
You explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was just applying for a job at an internship at Sony.
Yeah.
So I was going through that process, got to the top 50, didn't make the cut to the next stage.
Top 50 is pretty damn good, though.
Top 50 was sick, bro. Got to go to Sydney. Sydney's fucking cool too, man.
Yeah.
That was cool. Just doing an assessment centre and shit, like that was a trippy process. I'd never done that before. Yeah, Sony's cool.
That list, I mean, in a year and a half, you've solidified yourself as one of the main marketing components within a music label. You've also we've actually got a business going together, South Licked.
Yes.
We do
Coming very soon.
Do guitar samples.
Yes, for your producer, watch out.
Yes. So I'll keep that one quiet for now.
Yeah.
Got that. Obviously you got your podcast. It's fair to say you've probably done a fair bit of shit in a year and a half.
Well, thanks for stroking my ego,
Well,
mate. But
congratulations.
There's always more to be done.
My kind of thought is, I think for your average person, it's probably, like you were saying before, it can be paralyzing because in Melbourne, you literally can do things probably to an extent more than you were even aware in New Zealand. Say, for example, when I came over here, I didn't know that there were like, say, what were the companies that we were talking about the other day that purely just do content posts? There's like a full businesses that all they do is make Instagram posts.
Yeah.
All they do is make, and I didn't even know that stuff exists. I mean, I suppose more just because I never thought about it, but it's just in New Zealand.
You still don't know it exists.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of things that you don't know exist.
Exactly. There's the things that you're always figuring it out. So I think moving from New Zealand, it opens the mind a little bit more to that big pond type thing.
Just moving to an actual city. Like, it's an actual city, Melbourne. It's a big place. What? We got Auckland in New Zealand. I don't know. Is it a city on a world scale? Is it? Does it? I don't know. It would be a very small city on like a world scale, but Melbourne's like, it's comfortably a city.
If was it this year or last year that it was the most livable city in the world?
Most livable city in the
Even
world.
to be on
mate.
that list, especially at the top.
Which I don't know how the fuck they judge that, but
sounds
pretty harsh.
Where I was getting with that, to be able to, because again, for people who don't know you personally, you're a very structured person. Some people can't. Some people aren't able to handle that sort of structure purely just because that's just not who they are.
Yeah.
If say they come over with their direction is to do music itself, what would say for ones who wanted to do music, what would you say that you did that made yourself so motivated to get your podcast out, to start a business, like
As an artist,
as a person, as an artist for music, as just
what motivated me to do things outside of what I was trying to do?
What even pushed you to make those leaps to do so much? A lot of people would probably be scared to start a podcast.
100%. I suppose like that's
Even to
part of it. Maybe I like doing things that are scary as well. And maybe I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to try heaps of shit out. I'm still young, and I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be best at, how I can best like help people and best like raise up the human species and stuff. So at the moment, I guess I'm trying out a lot of different fucking shit that half interests me, you know.
all in a creative realm. It's all quite creative stuff.
It's all reasonably creative, I guess, but all, like you're saying, in a disciplined and structural manner, which is like, you know, there's pros and cons to this approach. Like, I feel like the structural element is a hard balance because it's hard to succeed.
Do you think it's worth structuring after being here for a year and a half, knowing what you've achieved, feeling good or bad or whatever you feel about what you've achieved? Do you think living that structured life, if you hadn't had employed that into your life, would you have achieved what you've achieved?
It depends. No, I wouldn't have. But I haven't achieved everything that I wanted to achieve as well.
In a year and a half? Or just
No.
in general?
Yeah. Well, in a year and a half, I guess. That's when I probably started actually thinking about shit like that. You know, goal setting and stuff. I actually started to take seriously around about that point. Around about the start of when I moved here. Year before maybe, you know. Started thinking about it. Well, Jordan Peterson was massive, bro. He was massive in motivating me to do that shit and lead a, like, disciplined, structural life. And it's a hard trade-off because before all that, I was pretty much like, do school and pass and, like, pass well, and then just game. Yeah. Drink alcohol and smoke weed. Pretty much. Like, that's all I had to do. That was me winning, you know?
Yeah. That was your
Have
ideal life at that stage.
Hang out with friends, like play around with some girls and just...
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then, that just was kind of... Didn't think twice about that way of life. And then I thought twice about that way of life. I was like, fuck, what Jordan Peterson made me think, like, what am I doing? What am I going to do?
After you moved here? That
Before.
realization? Oh, yeah, okay.
Before. It was once I moved to Kaitaia, I would say. Yeah, after uni. I felt like I learned more in my 1 year after uni than my whole uni career. In terms of, like, what I'm going to do.
Or who you wanted to be.
Yeah, because you get stuck in the school system where everything's just put in front of you and you just got to do it. You just got to pass it, you know? Like, you get to pick your bachelor and stuff. And I'm sure people come to this realization a lot quicker than what I did. But I was just fucking slow to the pack and being like, no, this is all good. Like, oh, I like music. I'll study music. Yep, I'll do that. And then just pass it.
I suppose people might disagree with you as slow to the pack. Some people won't find their.
Some people never find it.
Yeah, some
which is
people
a
never
shame.
find their, and maybe that's a fact that maybe if they employed the structured life, maybe they would eventually find something. But
Maybe.
I don't know.
There's no reliable way to find it. And I haven't found it yet. You're always looking for it. But I think that's like the meta goal, just to live a meaningful existence, you know? Something you can look back on and be proud of, as cheesy as it is. It's cheesy as fuck.
The cheesy thing, has to be done.
The only way in my head, the only way that I'm going to find that meaningful existence is by trying out a fuckload of different things and being like, that one really tickled my fancy. And, you know, music's always been a massive part of my life. And I used to be a performer, and that was a big decision of mine to be like, I don't know. Do I like performing? And I was like, I don't know if I actually do like it that much.
Enough to do it forever?
Not enough to like, and I know how hard the game is. And I know how fucked up the game of being a musician is. It's a lot of self-sacrifice, and like a bit of identity crisis in it too, and extreme vulnerability. And I don't know. That's a lot. It's a lot as an artist.
A lot to take in, yeah. I 100% understand that.
Which is why I was like, damn, that's hard. So I'm like, I want to help the ones that choose to do that, who have the fucking guts and the balls to do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah. If I like your shit, I'm like, let's make this happen, bro.
Back here.
You know? And that's how I want to step in those circumstances. I want to be like, let's structure this shit so that we can do it the most efficiently and effective way. While they can, it's like trying to be the rock while they're the kite that's flying around, just fucking exploring all this different airspace. All these different air molecules are hitting them. They're constantly taking in new information. Whereas, like, I see myself more as trying to, like, not pull them back, but keep them grounded.
Yeah. And maybe guide their flight path or whatever?
Yeah, well, it comes back to asking questions, to be honest. To be able to ask the right questions of them. Like, not leading questions, but just genuinely curious of, like, where do you want to go? Like, what are we doing here? What's happening? What do you want? What the fuck do you want? So, I want to release music. That's not very, very specific, dude. Like, what do you mean you want to release music? Do you want to release one single? Would you like to release a voice memo?
Yeah.
Would you like to be a Justin Bieber? Would you like to be a part of a band? Like, what is it exactly that you want to do? Like, then there's so much more to that, but I don't know, I could go on forever with that shit.
Yeah. Feel free to be fair. I think with encompassing everything that you've done so far, and at this point right now, what would you say is something that makes you proud that you managed to achieve? Whether you wanted to and actively had gone for it, or it just kind of just happened, like luck happened that you're like, sweet, hey, I'll take that.
I'm stoked that I'm part of Alt Music Group. Nah, I'm fucking stoked with that. Like, that gives me some reassurance of directional choice, you know? And
I made the right choice. People want me.
not necessarily the right choice, but I'm still going down a path that's like, even though the goal might be straight in front of me, and I'm like zigzagging towards it left. I'm still on the right track. I'm not off route completely. Like, yeah, it's some sort of like, what is it? Affirmation. I guess.
Yeah.
And it was the same with the Sony thing. Like, to get to the top 50,
That's
it was like, okay, well, you know, I must be doing something right.
Must have done, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, must have done something right at least. So that's something I'm proud of. Then I'd say outside of that, creative realm, lick's cool. Don't know about that yet though. We haven't done anything. Yeah. I'm stoked that I fucking wrote a novel. Like, that kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, right. So you had blogs and you've got your novel as well.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised that I did that. Like, that
you
was
were even able
random.
to
I would have never ever imagined that was something that I would do or want to do either. But I was like,
do you think it was something that you could do, or you kind of went into it like, fuck, I'll just try, but I don't know if it's going to
I was never a reader. I never even liked reading.
You read a lot now.
I read a lot now.
After the Jordan Peterson book, did you start reading heaps?
No, I never read Peterson's book first. Oh. I started going through his list.
Oh, okay,
his reading list. Obviously had to read in uni, but never for leisure.
Yeah.
Or for I'm
going to sit down and read a book.
Yeah, for self-development and stuff and learning and shit. But yeah, when I started reading, and then I was like, fuck, that's pretty cool, eh? And then, should I just try write something? And I was like, real random. It was just one night, just came up with the idea for the book, and then...
Can you give us a little bit of the idea?
Yeah, it's basically about, like, the thesis would be to, like, empathize with people who commit suicide, I guess. Like, trying to put yourself in their shoes and degrade the standpoint of committing suicide is selfish. Because I used to be under the impression that if you committed suicide, like, well, fuck you, bro. You're making all these people fucked off, all these people sad. Like, look at all the harm that you've caused these people, which is true, but, like, it's a deeper issue than that. It's, like, why did they commit suicide in the first place? That's what I'm, like, trying to attack. Because suicide's a big issue, especially in New Zealand. It seems like one of the highest countries in the OECD with the rates of suicide, which is fucked up.
One of the highest or the highest?
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
That's Google. But, so yeah, I was like, let's just go. Did like 30 minutes a day and then next thing you know, you've got like a big old book,
Novel.
and then you're like, fuck, now I've got to read it. I've got to edit it.
Is it out? Is it released?
Nah, that won't be released for a while. Yeah,
Don't know yet.
up to the third edit.
Yeah. Posted on that then.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. At some point, maybe next year. It'd be cool to get it out next year. I'm getting like low key kind of bored of it now. You know, once it gets to the third edit, it's just like, whoa.
And the story's the same. Like,
Story's the same. You're just like trying to make it sexier, pretty much. It's
can you
dressing it up.
liken writing a book or a short novel to writing a song? Are they quite similar in their own way? I mean, they're both words in terms of
What
the writing.
part of the song? The lyrics?
Yeah, like say you write lyrics. Do you think if you're able to write heaps of short stories that are really good stories, does that mean you can write a good song like Ed Sheeran?
Fuck, I don't know, man. There must be some type of crossover, I guess. Like just to have a creative mind in general, that's a crossover. But I don't know. Probably like
you felt like you've got stronger with your songwriting.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's because I've written the book. Yeah. But it did, like, it helps you be more concise, I would say. And it opens up, like, I'd say reading's done more than writing, to be honest. Like, writing's good because you're taking what you've learned, the vocabulary you've learned from books, and you're trying to implement it into your own work and stuff. So it consolidates certain ways of thinking. But the writing process itself, it's hard to say what the crossovers are, because when I was writing the novel, it's different to writing the blog posts, because they were just like shitting thoughts onto a page. That's what the blog was. And I suppose the novel was kind of like that, but almost like I'd just sit down, got half an hour, see where I was at, like read where I was up to, and just be like, okay, well, what happens next? It's probably more similar to, I'd say I've got more out of watching movies than doing music for writing a book, because a movie's a story and a book is a story, and a song can be a story, but I don't know.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I don't really, like, when I'm writing songs, I don't really write stories when I think about it.
Like, you have a theme that you're writing to.
Yeah.
But
it's hard. I'm sure they do. They probably do benefit each other, man. I don't know.
There's probably too many other factors, like just practicing,
Yeah,
in general.
That's what I'd say. Like, the best practice you can do for anything is just doing the fucking thing. You know, if you want to be a better songwriter, write some songs. If you want to be a better creative story writer, creatively write stories. Like, the best. But that can get boring, so you should explore different avenues as well. I don't know, bro. There's no right answer, and there's no one way to write. So it's like the way that I'm doing my novel might not benefit my songwriting, but if I wrote the novel in a different way, it might benefit my songwriting more. But I don't know.
Did you choose to write your novel based on something you had read or any research, or did you just kind of just do it? I want to try doing it this way, and I'll...
No, I just fucking did it. To be honest, yeah, I didn't do any like how do you write a novel. But everyone knows how a story goes.
Yeah,
everyone knows what a story is. I was just like, let's just make it a roller coaster.
Did you ever find that you got to a point where like, oh man, I'm kind of okay. Say for example, this person was climbing up a tree. All right, he's up on the top of the tree. Now what do I talk about? Or like,
there's lazy moments for sure.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't know kind of where to go from here. And then you just kind of lose your train of thought. Because that's what would scare me about writing. When I think, I'm going to write hello, little buddy. If I'm going to write a little novel, or if I'm going to write a novel, what the hell am I going to write about? Like, I don't have enough content for that. I don't have enough thoughts
Exactly.
for that.
I don't know. I had something to write about, and that was it. Like, that's all it was. If I didn't have something to write about, it's the same thing as having a direction with the move. Right. I had an end point where I wanted to get to, but I didn't know how I was going to get there.
That's a journey, but
Yeah.
that's what you've got to be willing to kind of fluid through.
But even then, like my initial end point, I didn't end up where I thought I was going to end, as well.
Well, like we were saying before.
Yeah, exactly.
You're saying you didn't.
It's life. It's like writing a book is just a story, and your life is just a story, and we think in stories.
Oh, you mean you didn't in the story? You didn't end up where you thought you wanted
No.
to be. Oh, your life.
Yeah, the ending was the hardest part, actually.
Did you have an ending, or you?
No, I had I know how it ended, but I didn't know how the ending happened.
You're gonna make how? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we'll leave that for that. Wait for that testers. How are we doing for time?
We must be getting there at part 1, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, in that case, we'll wrap this part up. Just a song from you.
Well, I'm going to have to give some love out to my alt music group crew.
Who we going with?
Let's go.
You got a new one out, or?
No, he doesn't yet. I mean, big shout out to Kayet on the aria, but I mean, yeah, she deserves our love. But let's hit a little bit of Yao Faso.
Ish.
Reassurance, you know.
The
that
first
one really.
signing?
Yeah, I think he was. Pretty sure he was, man. Yeah, a bit of dancehall for you.
Epic.
But dancehall Afrobeat stuff, like,
Right.
kind of caught me off guard. I was never really into that stuff before I started listening to Yao Faso, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Just
fuck
quickly,
yeah.
do you reckon alt music being quite a like hip hop R&B label? Do you reckon that's changed your music taste at all?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, but I feel like my music, I have a very diverse palette when it comes to music. I kind of just listen to everything. And from classical to screamer, you know, let's go.
Yeah, classic. I listen
But,
to everything.
Yeah, I do like, I suppose you have like there's a gravitational pull towards the type of music that you listen to more often. You seem to like start developing more relationship with that. So like naturally I've just been listening to that type of music more often. So like maybe it's made me like that type of music more.
Translating into it.
I don't
just
know.
For the people you're around. Oh, well, the song is...
Reassurance, Yao Faso.
You guys start to.
Chat.
Yo, 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 yo! Welcome back to part 2 of the 30th episode of Kiwis and Melbs. Today, I'm here. I'm your host. My name's Brogan Kerrison. And that guy is usually sitting in this seat. He didn't just get
do
sexy.
like that seat.
I told you that. We're back for part 2. We're going to kick it off with a curious question.
Old mate,
The
yeah.
old curious question. I got this one prepared earlier. The curious question was, what would the prize have to be for you to play one game of Russian roulette?
What would the prize have to be for me to play one game of Russian roulette? What's Russian roulette again?
One bullet, spin,
Oh, yeah.
boom. I think that, yeah, I'm pretty sure. That came
I don't
out and I
know.
was just like, oh, man.
I don't know if I could pick anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, and then I started trying to think
the
of
life
myself.
of someone else.
You would bring some, if you could bring someone back.
If I didn't play Russian roulette, then someone would die.
Oh.
So the prize would be the safety of someone that I care about.
Okay.
That would be enough to make me want to play Russian roulette. Other than that, I don't know if I'd have... Like, there would be some tempting scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, money's always going to be a big tempter. What else would be tempting?
But what sum of money? Because remember, you've 1 in 6 chance that you might not die. There's only
Yeah.
there's one. Yeah, I mean,
1 in
1 in
6
6 chance that you
will
will
die.
die. But I mean, what's that?
I don't know. Those odds are too high for me. Death is the end.
True. Forever.
Maybe I could tactically, like, put the gun here and I just shoot through my
No
cheek.
tactics, no nothing.
You're dying.
You either die.
Yeah, nah, not much. At the end of the day, 1 in 6 isn't enough. Yeah. The odds that I'd need are probably like... Oh, I don't know. I don't think I could do that shit. Like, just genuinely putting a gun to your head and going at it.
if someone named me a sum of wealth, say for example, if I got 500 million, okay, yeah, if I got 500 million, that I knew that was going to set up me, my family, pretty much any other Kerrison to like kind of come, I would take the risk.
The 500 mil.
500
What's
mil.
the minimum? 500 mil.
Minimum would be 50 mil.
50 mil.
Yeah. With 50 mil, even if you make like a bad investment for like 5 mil, you'll still be fine. Like that's what I'm thinking.
How old am I when I'm doing this shit?
Right now?
Yeah, nah.
At all?
Nah.
Hey.
Time's too valuable.
True. Oh, but I suppose it's just I'd willing to sacrifice your life for the betterment. Well, you hope the betterment of your fellow like ones after you.
Yeah, I'd do it once again. I said it for the safety of someone else.
Yeah.
If they got something out of it, probably not. Because I'd like to think that like the loss. If I really care about them, they really care about me. So the loss of me is probably going to be pretty damaging. I imagine if you did that for me, like if you play that, we both get 500 mil if you play.
Yeah.
And then you died. I would be pretty, like, I wouldn't like the money.
True. Like, oh, fuck. Even if I had just brought you your own Scruffy Chinwag studio, like with everything else you need to hopefully catapult you into the industry for the rest of your life.
Probably not. Like, that would obviously be great, but it's too risky.
Yeah.
It's too risky.
And even like you say it, you would.
And is money that, I don't know, money seems like that could be toxic.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that earlier today. Like having that wanton drive for just purely money. Don't know if it's a good. Like some people swear off it.
Yeah,
some people,
100%.
that's a good friend of mine.
And do a good job of it too.
Yeah, exactly. But that's probably why they swear off it, because they're good at it. But I'm like, you end up forgetting about everything you're doing to get to that money point.
Yeah. There's more to worry about. That's for sure. It's not all money. Money is a big part though.
Yeah.
Of life in general, and it opens a lot of doors. And God, it's alluring. You know, it can suck you in so well. Like a certain lifestyle is like enabled by money, and a fucking fun lifestyle at that, man.
Yeah.
And a lifestyle in which you can do what you please, but live where you like. But it feels like it's going to fabricate a lot of the subtleties of existence that make life worth living.
That you probably take for granted.
That you wouldn't even know are there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, friend and
The things money can't buy.
This is just cheesy bloody. Cheese
on toast with Scruff and Brokes.
They just happened
Grilled
too
cheese.
well. We were talking about that, how some people have this is me and a friend, have a huge want for money, and some people just are happy to kind of live.
Yeah.
Like they don't want a massive. But he was arguing, he's like, but remember, you imagine if everyone had the same wealth. There would be no poverty, everyone would be happy, everything would be so good. And I'm like, I don't reckon. I think just the natural want of some people to want more money than others. I think that naturally humans are like that anyway. I don't think we're ever going to find a natural equilibrium.
Yeah, and maybe if everyone did have the same wealth, and maybe that would lead to people being competitive in more dangerous manners. Like maybe the chasing of money is one of the safest ways we have for healthy competition.
True.
Although there's unhealthy aspects to it, maybe it's better than us all trying to kill each other.
Yeah, if there's nothing else to do, maybe it's
stealing things from each other. I don't know.
A purge. Movies. Seen any decent movies lately?
Yeah, I watched Daddy's Home 2 the other night.
Daddy's Home 2. Daddy's Home?
Yeah, it's a Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, John Cena.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, and some other dude that I don't know his name. It's all-star
Yeah,
lineup.
it's a pretty decent lineup.
It's funny, man. Will Ferrell's crack up. Like,
Yeah.
him and Mark Wahlberg just bounce off each other. I love them and other guys. Like,
Yeah.
that one scene,
That's
shout
the
out
cop
to
one,
Brandon, just fuck that one scene where, okay, first of all, a tuna, a lion in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to win that battle nine times out of 10.
I'll win that battle.
And now we have a taste for the lion. We are hungry for more. I suck at quotes.
Well, I get the idea. We saw the Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Honestly, way more emotional than I was expecting.
Oh,
for
true.
Fucking, it's meant to be about cars and shit. And yeah, I was sitting there. I don't really cry, but I had a few tears. kind of
Shit of you, eh? Yeah, just the waterworks getting ready to go.
Just was not expecting it, but it was actually it's pretty massive. Like, I don't want to give it away. Watch the movie.
Okay.
Pretty damn good.
Joker. Bang. That was fucking good.
You had a rating, yeah?
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I loved it, eh? Best character, well, I don't want to say best, but one of the best character development stories I've seen. And just, like, in 2 hours-ish. That's amazing. To develop a psychopath naturally like that, it's impeccable story writing.
I know that they're two different movies, and I know it's too hard to compete against a guy who was an amazing actor. And
Yeah, let's do it. Hit me.
Which one came up? Because Dark Knight
they are
or
close,
Joker.
bro.
But
I like Dark Knight better because I like Batman.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat, I'll
got
say
the
that.
hero in there.
I like Batman. Batman's fucking cool. I like the Batman trilogy. It's my favorite superhero movies. The Batman trilogy. I don't know which one's my favorite.
What I asked
Probably
people,
Dark
if the whole Heath Ledger, if he was still alive today, and rest in peace, say what happened didn't happen, would that movie have been as good or got the hype that it did without that death? Well, look at the same thing with Fast and the Furious, Scott Walker. Not saying that movie wasn't a good movie, wasn't it? It was a great movie, but that song at the end where he died while filming it, it's the brother, not actually him. Oh, that was a massive marketing campaign for that.
True.
Writing
But
on
the
someone's death.
Heath Ledger didn't die playing the Joker.
He had already finished. In his filming, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Unless they.
Maybe it wouldn't be as big. I don't know. Still a fucking good movie.
Yeah.
I dare say when I first watched that, I would have been ignorant to the fact that he died.
Who? Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
True.
Probably.
See, I'm
Can't remember. When did that shit come out?
Well, part of me, Google. Part of me, I want to say that I watched that movie because I was like, oh, Heath Ledger, oh, he died. Oh, I got to see this movie.
Oh, that was the motivation. Yeah.
But I want to say that, but I could just be saying that because that's what I remember of it.
I think I was late to the ball game in regards to the Batman trilogy.
That one.
The whole thing, yeah. I don't know. Current events. No, not high on my to-do list. There's a fucking volcano in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. People were telling me about that, and they were like, "Is everyone all good?" And I'm like,
Don't know.
I don't know, bro. I didn't even know that there was a volcano, to be honest.
Well, isn't that what Lake Taupo is? It's like a.
Nah, it's White Island. I think it's off the coast of Gisborne.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's
Do you
going
wanna
off
put
at
some
the
beats
moment. Yep. Have the phone. Yep.
I fucking love Taupo.
What island? Because I didn't know there were still active ones. But that's what I mean. They're meant to be extinct.
Are they?
Well,
I think they're dormant.
yeah,
aren't they?
dormant. But that's what I mean. Akaroa. You've been down to Christchurch, Akaroa, in there.
I don't know.
Apparently, that's a big ass volcano.
True.
That could
Just bubbling away.
I don't know. Whoever mastermind goes, nah, that'll be fine. That won't. Let's build a city around that. Whose fucking idea was that? Fuck.
Man, and there's so much room in New Zealand. You could have went anywhere else.
No. Yeah. You get all your global warmers come out when things like this happening. It's starting to happen.
You do, eh?
It's starting to happen.
The media reports on it way more. Like, whenever I swipe right on my
Tinder
profile, on the iPhone home screen, and you get, like, news, the headlines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always just volcano. Like,
Yeah.
3 of the 4 will be volcano headlines.
At the moment.
Yeah. And that's been going on for fucking ages.
Do they follow a trend?
I don't know. I don't fucking know, man.
Because there's
Algorithms
meant to be
are
that.
scary.
I know. Comment if you know about this, but that ring of fire. You heard of that?
Johnny Cash.
Ring of fire. No, that one. Maybe he was singing about
Put
that.
on some fucking tunes, guy.
Maybe he knew what was going on, but
He was fucking predicting the future, boy.
fuck. Is it on?
Yep. No, it's not.
Yeah. Apparently, there's this ring that is basically kind of going off or whatever. It's got like something coming out of it, and it's making all the. Damn it, we need to Google because I'm not explaining this very well. But yeah, apparently there's a ring of fire.
The one day when
The one day that we need it, there's a ring of fire and it's setting off all the volcanoes and things like this. If that really is like a doomsday thing, or if that's just some like hard out stoner.
I don't know
conspiracy
anything about
theorist.
volcanoes. How do they work? What the fuck is going on there? How did they even start? Was it just like a fucking big hill and then like shit just bursted up through it and like broke the top of the mountain? And then it was just like, yo, I'm gonna make some new rocks now, bro. Like, it's just like the fucking earth jizzing, bro. Creating new fucking land.
That's what literally happened at the start, though. Eh? That's like, isn't that?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
like there's heaps of
volcanoes
volcanoes under the ocean, wasn't there?
Yeah, and created like all these land masses and shit.
Fuck, I'm speculating.
I
though.
think we're just talking about shit. We don't actually know.
Speculating.
What was I was going to say before? Part 1, we're talking a lot about your music in general. Oh, yeah. What about your upbringing? Who set the person? Your parents. Tell us about the parents.
The rents.
The rents. Dad's a farmer.
Daddy's a
Dad's a
farmer.
farmer.
Dad has a 600-acre farm. Ish.
Can you put that in perspective? Because I know
I
if
can't.
people
I don't know how to put it in perspective.
like meters.
No idea. No idea, bro. I don't
Huge.
understand. It's biggish. It's medium-sized farm, I guess.
Okay.
It depends what your idea of a
Why do
farm
we still
is.
use hectares, man? I don't even know how big. How
That's
what-
acres. Acres is
Acres.
different to hectares as well.
See if.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum, I know. I should
Whatever.
know this.
Don't
But
worry
yeah,
about it. He's a farmer, sheep farmer. He's a good dude. He likes to bike. Yeah, so I had like 6 years growing up on the farm. That was cool. I can't remember it. I can, but it was it was nice. I guess. I like the farm.
You wouldn't
I
call
like the
yourself like a farm.
No, I don't.
Boy,
But
yeah.
I do have an appreciation for the farm, and like more and more often when I'm going back now, I have like an increased appreciation for it. Like just going out there, especially living in the city, you know, going back and just seeing all this wide open space and just being like, holy fuck, man, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All these trees, look at all these trippy animals going, just fucking chilling.
True.
Some doggos. Up to doggos, got some trippy machinery. It's like a real weird, like, amalgamation of culture and nature because you have all the machinery and the systems, the fencing and everything to do with a farm, the cultural side of it, just put onto this mass field, pretty much.
Huge field.
I don't know how the fuck they, like, decided that. How did they make a farm? Like,
What did your farm produce? Milk. No.
no.
Sheep and beef.
Sheep.
So just sheep, no
Sheepies.
cows.
We had like a little herd of cows, but nah, they come and go. I don't think that. I don't know if we have any currently, but we're fucked with cows a little bit, but not milking. Just
Yeah. What about
And-
Mum? Tell me about Mum.
mum,
What's Dad's name first?
goose.
Goosey.
Yeah,
The
you're
goose.
only allowed to call him goose. Yeah,
Why?
a
Goose
rule.
legs.
Nah, that's turkey legs, Ray.
Turkey legs. That's right.
Radar. Mum's a good bitch. She's a social worker. Yeah. So she kind of like did the mum thing for a bit, and then she started working with like an autistic kid in school, like as a teacher aide.
Yeah.
Then she started working at a centre for people with disabilities. And then she stayed there for a bit, and then now she's like kind of works from home a bit more and goes out to individual cases with people with like parents who are struggling with their kids with disabilities.
Yeah.
And she tries to like, just make it a better home environment and stuff, I guess. She's reasonably like, she fucks with arts a bit. She used to, at least. Like, she used to do pottery and stuff. I remember that shit. That's so trippy. Like, pottery.
Hey.
You never see that shit now.
Yeah, it's like a hobby. Pottery is a hobby, which
Yeah,
could
I
be
don't know.
cool as
She
fuck.
might have even like, she might have worked like as a potter. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
But I can remember going into her little pottery studio and like.
Oh, she had like a
doing
little
some
studio in there.
Yeah, like it wasn't her studio though. It was
Yeah.
like the Balclutha Potter Club or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there wasn't
Share
that many
around.
people that do it.
Right
yeah.
when you can have from 11 to 12 today.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a good drawer and like shit like that. Great mum. But everyone's a great mum, so shout out to the mums.
Biased.
Great dad as well.
Goose. Sisters, sister.
I have a sister. You've probably heard of Maxine Gray. She's a pretty big deal.
Maxo.
She does all my drawings. She's great. Well, not all my drawings. She does a lot of my drawings.
She does. She's been on the potty.
She's a great drawing. She's been on the potty. Go check her out. Things like episode 4. Yeah, she studies psych. She's just finished. She's doing well. And then Big Smoke Dog, he's been on the pod as well with old Glencoe over here. And he's over in Canada now doing the whole ski bum life.
Fuck that guy, man. Fucking sick of watching your stories, man. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, there was something on Snapchat the other day. Last that I saw, he was, he was at, what was it, beer dinner, Oktoberfest?
Oh, Oktoberfest. Yeah,
Oktoberfest. Then he was somewhere else. Then I saw he was in snow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, man. Like, I just want to do
Like,
that.
yeah. He makes me feel like I don't move around, which is great.
Yeah. And I'm, fuck. But
Yeah,
then
he
I'm
jumps around all over the show.
traveling and living like that. It scares me how much financially, like, because say you save up $5,000, you go touring for 2 months or whatever, you spend it. Fucking then what? You know?
Yeah.
Like, cause, I mean, unless you
You
get a
make
job
it
in
work,
that.
bro. You just make it fucking work, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, we're stronger than we think.
Yeah, I think
Our survival instincts can kick in. It's like, shit. Okay, I need to go get work. Because, like, it's all well and good, like, oh, I'm looking for a job, bro. But it's like, I need a job, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be far more active on the job hunting scene
when it gets dire.
when push comes to shove, bro.
Yeah.
And there's great things about stuff like Uber and, like, Alton did Deliveroo when he first moved to Germany. Things like that, bro. Like, those little kind of almost self-employed jobs, like...
Yeah. That you can run
They're
at
an
your own
option.
times.
Yeah, and they're pretty easy to get into, I think.
Oh, we got some arrivers.
Ooh, we've got some people arriving. Should get them straight in.
Righto.
They don't even know what's going on.
Yo.
What's up?
Lads?
Oh, what's up? You
It's
still
up.
recording?
We're still recording. Do you guys
Take a
wanna
seat, boys.
join us?
Podcast. No input.
Grab another seat.
we got here?
There's some seats in. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the chat for today?
Teams.
Fuck, we're just going.
We're just talking.
We've just done a big old
Introduce
section.
yourself.
Well, you're not gonna need microphones, guys.
Yeah.
So if you guys could try share that guy.
Technical difficulties.
Man, if I knew,
Been thrown in the deep end here.
yeah, I was gonna say if I knew I'd been a podcast, I would have prepped some like I don't know,
Literally.
embellished fake backstory. I'm Dan.
Dan, nice to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
Okay, you probably can't see them, but you can hear them. We've got Alistair and we've got Dan.
Hey guys.
Yo.
What's your stories, boys?
Yeah, what's been happening today, fellas?
Oh, I went to the NGV this morning
Oh,
to
yeah?
see the herring exhibition.
Mm.
That was sick.
What
That was
is
real
it?
cool. It's this dude. Fuck, where's he from? I'm not sure. I think
Keith
he's
Haring.
an artist. Yeah, Keith Haring. I think he's an American dude, and he's kind of street style graffiti, real cool stuff. Real cool stuff. But I didn't bring my glasses, so I couldn't read anything.
Oh shit! So you were just seeing like.
I was just
blurry
looking at
images?
it, yeah. At some point, I couldn't read anything, so I was just looking at the images, being like, that's cool. I've no backing to it, but it's cool.
Shit. What
Yeah.
time did you go there?
11 o'clock in the morning. It's
Good
pretty
boy.
cheap.
Did you go as well, Dan?
I did not. I had my office Christmas party last night, so I was
Oh.
had a
nasty.
late wake up, and then I went to jiu-jitsu actually.
Same.
Yeah,
We know what's good. What time
Yeah.
was your class?
my class was at midday.
Mine was at 10:30
How'd you go?
till midday.
Did you get bashed?
Oh, it was all right. It was all right today. We were mostly just rolling today, eh? So we did like a little bit of like 10-minute technique, and then we just rolled for 50 minutes, 45 minutes with breaks and shit, I guess. What'd you do?
Yeah, pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Similar deal.
How long have you
Normally,
been doing it for, Dan?
I've been training for, in total, like almost 2 years now. But there was a 10-year gap in the middle of that, so I only started again in February this year.
So you went for like a year and then.
Yeah, did like 9 months, stopped for ages, did like powerlifting, played rugby, and then switched back to jiu-jitsu when I was like, rugby fucks your body up too much, basically.
Yeah, it fucking does, man. I like nowadays. I swear I could just be getting old and fat, but also like my back, my joints and shit.
fuck yeah.
I
bro.
swear, man.
What is that shit? Aging. what is that shit? When's someone gonna sort that out?
How old?
Fix it. I'm 23.
Oh yeah, so you're young.
You can
I'm
fuck your
still
joints
playing.
up for
yeah,
a few
I've
more
still
years.
got a while.
Yeah.
Still got a bit.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm 28,
Okay.
so I'm over the hill. It's all downhill.
We don't hit it till we're 30s, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon I'm off to the glue factory soon. Done. 2 more years left. How good was it being like 5 years old and you could just like fall out of a second story window and then just get
Should
up?
we sleep?
Dad, did you see that?
Should we do it right now? There we go.
Well, you're the youngest, so
I'll go first.
But
No,
like,
that's-
fuck, alcohol kind of lets you do that shit again, I reckon, because it actually does loosen up your
Yeah, you go limp
muscles and
and-
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can
So
take
maybe
more
you just
damage.
maybe that's why kids can handle it more. Maybe they're like not even prepared for the landing. They're just like, oh,
They don't know what it is yet.
Floppy and shit.
Yeah. They don't know what the ground is yet, so they just hit it.
yeah. They just fucking go in full blast. Like, oh shit, that was actually all good. But then once we know what the ground is, we're like, okay, that thing actually. But
the
there's a bit of
distance- the
there's a
distance
bit of
from the
fucking
ground
yeah.
changes as well.
Yeah,
So
true.
when you're so close to the ground and you fall, it's not that bad. But when you're 6 foot up,
When you're a big fucking
when you-
giant like you.
that's when you hit it hard.
Do you think fear plays a part in pain? Like when you're a kid, you're not scared of like walking that tightrope because you're like, fuck, I don't really know if it's gonna hurt or not. Like you haven't gone through the pain, but because you've done it before, you've walked something that's quite high before and you've fallen off. You're like, fuck, this is really gonna hurt. And if you fall off and you might land in a way that it doesn't really hurt, but because last time you were thinking like, oh yeah, no, this definitely hurt. It just plays on your mind, so you're hurt.
I think there'll be some sort of like
sort of
psychological
mental- yeah, some sort
element
of-
to it.
There's
Eh?
also so many different types of pain as well. Like in terms of even in different types of physical pain. Like the difference between like a really strong itch and like a tickle. Like I find tickle painful.
Yeah,
And there's, like,
if you can't
there's- so-
actively stop it. Eh?
Yeah, and then there's like aching pain, and then there's like muscle pain, and all these different pains. Which like if I have a really sore muscle, it wouldn't hurt me as much as someone who's slicing my skin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's just different types.
And then
of
you've
pain.
got emotional pain as well
I
on
know.
top
Don't
of
get me
that,
started
which
on
is
that.
the whole fucking ball game.
That's the big one.
On the pain thing, do any of you guys meditate?
I do. Well,
I fuck
not
with it, bro.
regularly enough.
Fuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can kind of explore. Like, I don't know if you've ever been like meditating and just feel like real uncomfortable and had the urge to move.
Yeah.
But if you just don't move and just stay in like the same position, it gets super uncomfortable and just notice what that pain feels like.
You start to actually really hone in on the pain and more
Well,
than anything.
yeah, or you kind of distance yourself from it, and it becomes like just a sensation. It's not like, oh, this is pain. It's like, oh, this is a weird like pressure and heat combination that
Yeah,
I feel. But
you start to think
you get,
about
like-
what pain feels like the intricacies of it, but it's almost not. I don't know the pain that I get from sitting, because this is from sitting still too long.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
guessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you cross your legs?
Or like, nah, I just sit on a chair.
Yeah, same. But if you already had the pain, do you mean, or pain
well,
arising from?
That's just an example, but like even like if I actually get hurt now, like I fall over and fuck myself up,
Yeah.
the first thing I'll do is like instantly click to trying to notice what the pain feels like, kind of thing.
Analyzing it.
And
a bit
again,
more.
well, not analyzing it, just noticing it, not trying to like
Okay.
think about it. Just, I mean, yeah, maybe it is analyzing it. In a
Like,
way.
I would, in a way, call that analyzing. You know,
Yeah.
like noticing is the first stage of the first level of analysis, right?
Well, that's exactly it, but not putting like labels on it beyond that, and just I don't know.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes no sense.
yeah. I know. Like, I thought about that the other day. Sorry, with sound as well. Like, I do the Sam Harris app one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about sound, and he's like, listen to the sounds in the room, and then now try and detach the label of the sound and actually just listen to the sound. Because if you hear
A cargo past or something.
a car go past, you're like, your brain automatically tells you, oh, that's the sound of a car going past. But if you think about, like, what the fuck is that sound? Like, what does that
a
sound
whooshing,
actually
yeah.
sound like?
That's crazy.
The same with like a tick of a clock. I have a clock in my room. It's like, well, that's your brain automatically just like is like clock over there. But then you like think about it, like that's trippy that thing over there makes that sound that we
Back
associate with
back
that
onto
thing.
babies and things, and they would have no idea what any of those sounds are. Imagine how confusing it would be. All these like sensations coming out that you've never experienced before, but all the time, every minute. I guess that's why they cry
Constantly,
so much.
just constantly new it.
Yeah,
Just
no wonder they
everything.
cry fucking.
Yeah, they'd be shit scared of everything. Man.
Fucking pussies, bro. Pussies.
On the meditation fact, I mean, that's look at this. It's that you four dudes. You go back maybe, well, rugby guys. You go back maybe even when I was in New Zealand like 3 years ago. If I had said to my rugby team, "Any of you guys meditate?" Like, what the fuck? You crazy fucking. You must be into that Buddhist shit, man. You know they go, but.
We're progressive here in Melbourne.
Yeah. This is what we do. I'm like, but
No, that's fuck,
seriously,
trippy. Yeah.
Like, I do think meditation itself. I think it's just people have this. You got this real bad stigma around. Oh, must be a fucking hippie. Fucking
There is that
hippie."
around today.
But I'm like, after actually.
Well, yeah, but that's not the point.
Exactly. Because my brother said to me, he was like, "Have you tried meditation?" I was like, "Why would I sit there and hum to myself, man?" You know? But after actually doing it, I didn't even. It's hard to explain what it does, but it does something, and I think it's a benefit.
I think everyone's experience is different as well.
Yeah.
What I've found with meditation is that when I did like my big fucking sober stretch recently, the old 7-weeker, meditation was way better in that sober period. I found like it was almost like a form of a drug for me in that time.
Yeah.
And now since I've like started like fucking with shit again, it feels like it's a bit more like
It's harder. I guess.
yeah, it doesn't. I'm not getting the full experience out of it. It doesn't feel. It's still good, but suboptimal.
Doesn't feel as satisfying as it once did.
Well, it doesn't feel like I'm getting as much into that zone, that
yeah.
flow state, or whatever I don't know what it is. Like you're saying, it's too hard to explain. Yeah.
What about depression?
Okay.
We're getting in there.
Depression or even anxiety, because like I didn't even know, because like going back to what we're saying, I've been surrounded in dudes that play rugby, so like I didn't realize that I thought in my head I was just being a pussy when I was kind of anxious about something, but it is actually you've got anxiety. But I had been trained to think like, you're a pussy, get over it, you'll be alright. And I'm like, now after like when things say I'm starting to get anxious about work or some shit like that, if I do start doing meditation throughout the week, man, I just don't even think about that shit anymore. Like, so I reckon it does, but I don't know if there's any proof around that. Do you guys have any proof on that?
I think it helps clear things up. With mental health and depression and anxiety, doing meditation definitely clears your mind. In the way I put it before, when I was studying a lot and I was feeling a lot of like really shit, it felt like I had a Google document open with 100 tabs and everything was so all over the place, so many things to click through to find anything relevant. Whereas when you meditate, it like resets that and brings it back to 1 or 2 vital tabs.
That's great.
And that
That's
really,
a really good analogy.
puts it
Steal
back
that
down.
from someone.
Yeah,
I made that up because I was studying and
that's
had lots of tabs. I was doing an essay and I had so many tabs up and I clicked exit after I finished the essay. I'm like, damn, that's like meditating.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
getting rid of all
Nice.
this shit.
So that's a really good
Yeah,
explanation.
so it just gets rid of all the rubbish and it allows you to really think of what you want to think about instead of all the other bullshit in the background.
Just constantly like
Yeah,
putting it.
and it's not like a really like all the thoughts you're having aren't that apparent to you as well. A lot of them are just in the background, just sitting there manifesting, and you don't even know you're thinking about them too much. You might not be, but they're still there. And then when you meditate, it just closes everything, and you realize this is what I should be focusing on, which either is your own health or the essay or like just
Whatever
being
it is
good.
at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
I think the thing for me with meditation is that it lets you notice what your brain is really doing and the fact that you're not the author of your thoughts kind of thing. And so like, I mean, all of the thoughts that we have are kind of just responses that we've evolved to the world around us. So like things like social anxiety, right? Like people maybe, make a fool of themselves in some social situation and then worry about it for like days after. And that's something that we evolved because when your tribe was 30 people, if you made a fool of yourself and everyone like decided they didn't like you anymore, you'd probably die. Because if you're by yourself out in the jungle, you're not gonna go so well. But like obviously we don't need that evolved response anymore, right? So it's kind of helpful.
Not in that setting, but in its own setting, like a kid getting bullied at school from an Instagram post or something like that, although we're not in the jungle or anything anymore, that technically would be a jungle when you're at school trying to kind of get around different obstacles, which would be a social setting, social anxiety.
For sure. And I think that kind of pain, the pain of being bullied is like helpful to go, hey, the thing you're doing right now, like people don't approve of it. So if you want to fit in, you need to change your behavior. And that's cool, that's helpful. But you're not going to die if you don't change your behavior. You'll just find some other people and that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's like helpful to be able to notice like, okay, like maybe I should not make that kind of joke anymore that made people hate me and kick me out of the party.
Keyword noticing.
But,
just noticing what's going on there.
Yeah,
I really liked your whole, you don't think up thoughts. Like thoughts just come.
Happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to just notice what they are when they come. That's what I really liked about meditation too. Like, I don't think it's a process of trying to stop thinking. It's the process of trying to realize that you're thinking. Sup, bro?
Yo.
How you going?
We've got an injection of Eds.
We've got
Jump
Eds.
in here, mate.
Give us a holler.
It's the last
You're in a
shit.
podcast. This is Dan, by the way.
How you going, mate? Oh, fuck.
That's all right.
Just all go.
Put
Yeah.
stuff down.
When you were saying with like the don't be a pussy thing,
Yeah.
I feel that that's not all bad as well. Because a lot of the time, you can be being a pussy.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
like not like
The
whole
resilience that builds is good as well.
Yeah.
the
exactly.
resilience exactly, and like being like feeling shit and getting anxious, that's gonna be part of life. Like we're never gonna be able to alleviate that shit. So if you tell people that it's wrong to feel that way, then they start to think that they're really fucked up.
And that they're wrong.
Yeah. But like I suppose if you can tell yourself that it's wrong that I'm feeling anxious or shitty in a certain situation, I think that can be done in a healthy manner. For example, like I could be in a worse situation. It's that type of mind frame instead, you know? Like I could be stuck in Africa without being able to even consume food to keep up my daily recommended intake as given to you by the local, I don't know, who even decides on that shit? You know what I mean though? Like
100%.
if like you might be being a pussy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think also with the whole like rise in awareness of mental health issues and so on, a lot of people use that as a crutch and just kind of wallow in like their sadness.
Totally.
Instead of just trying to sort their shit out, you know?
That's better.
That's the one. That's it.
But I suppose, I mean, again, I have never been in that situation where I've been so down and depressed. I feel like I can't get out of whatever. But I'm sure there's people that are kind of at that stage, and it's probably easy for us to say, stop being a pussy. But maybe they can't even get out of it.
There's even helping yourself is a real trouble at some point. So at some point you feel like you're feeling shit. You know you feel shit, but not knowing what to do about it. And the fact that it costs $80 a therapy session and it's like half refunded by the government doesn't help in itself. So a lot of students struggle with that. But it is so hard if you are feeling that way to then be like, admit that you need help. Another thing is feeling that your problems aren't as bad as someone else who might have to go to therapy. So why should I take the time from someone else who might have to go?
So you're probably wasting your time anyway.
You feel like you're wasting time. You feel like next week I'll be better. And next week you might be better. But then in 2 weeks' time, you feel twice as worse. And you're
Dragon's grown.
Yeah, but then you feel like, oh, last time it got better over a week, so the next time will. And then slowly you get worse and worse to the point where you're in this state where you think, like, I'm still wasting time from a therapist, but you are really struggling. And it's a real big circle of just not knowing what to do and not knowing when to get help. But then when you do get help, it does open your eyes a bit, and it is good.
I started going to therapy recently after like just a prolonged period of, like, things were never that bad, right? So I was never like, oh fuck yeah, I need to go to therapy because I'm thinking about like self-harm or something like that. It was just like deep unsatisfaction over a prolonged period of time, you know? And it's hard to actually like take that step and be like, cool, I'm gonna like go to a doctor and tell him I need a mental health plan. Like it feels whoa, like, oh, you know, I can handle this. Like, I'll be able to sort this out. It's fine. And I mean, shit, you probably can. You can read enough Jordan Peterson books and
that's all I've got.
maybe get your way out of there. But hey man, But I mean, for me that's been like super helpful. And even though things aren't that bad, it's been big.
Yeah, I'm really interested to try therapy out. Like, especially like a psychotherapist. I think that'd be like, if not just interesting to see how they operate.
The other thing is, it was super interesting learning about yourself.
Yeah.
So you might have all these emotions and thoughts and theories about why you feel this way, but it's not until you see a professional who can put it into digestive words for you to understand, instead of just an emotion and a feeling you have. When you get the chance to speak to someone who understands what you're going through in many ways, and they can spit it back to you in a way that you understand, it's only beneficial for so many things, for yourself, for other people, and for the greater good, really.
Yeah. How are you?
Hi.
How's it going? How are you?
I was just taking a few photos to make some motivation.
Cool. Cool. We're just recording a podcast at the moment.
Mid-podcast.
Are you mid podcast? Oh my god.
Would you like to come join?
We have another spare seat over here.
Come join.
Gosh, this is so bad.
Watchers, this is Mitch. Mitch is the landlord for this house right now.
Hey.
Right here.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Here she is.
Wow, this is so random.
Mitch, we're currently talking about mental illness, so it's pretty heavy.
Interesting.
And therapy.
We're kind of talking
to be
about.
honest with
Yeah, you got any thoughts on it, Mitch?
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. So, where's the conversation being steered to?
Okay, this microphone, if you can get towards this, give her some.
Benefits of therapy is where we're at.
Yeah,
the
I'm talking
moment.
about therapy.
I mean, I know you. I mean, probably everyone knows that women talk a lot, and we talk amongst ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's therapeutic in itself to be able to express yourself without maybe not necessarily needing a solution, but being able to feel heard.
Just to be heard, yeah.
Yeah, it can be enough.
Listening,
that's one of
the
the
power
stuff.
of listening in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be someone professional. It can just be a friend. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just writing in a journal.
100%.
Yeah.
You can think to yourself by writing.
Yes. And then
And-
it kind of makes it clearer.
Yeah.
It's also why people have checklists, and it's very therapeutic to check things off as well.
Yeah. It's your sense of closure on things.
Yeah.
But that points back to what we were saying at the start, bro, with the thinking out loud. Sometimes people just need to be able to talk to someone so they can think through things in general. Like they just don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just like, oh man, fuck, it's cluttered upstairs, bro. How do we get through this shit?
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about it's really hard for a lot of people, maybe every person, to be able to say, okay, I need to see a therapist. What about, and you were saying earlier that maybe it's just the act of being heard by someone or something. What if we didn't have to be heard by another person? What about if it was just a computer program who kind of sat there and listened to?
It's very interesting that you mentioned that because so there is a podcast called Should This Exist? It's American and it has a few topical, I guess, like inventions, and one of the inventions is actually exactly what you're saying. A robot computer that is, it's very, very interesting.
Was there anything, because I mean, talking to like an actual human, I don't know, but we can actually, something happens between the chemistry between a person.
Yeah.
Would you still find that same relief not talking, even if the computer knew all the answers to all your problems? It wasn't sincere. It didn't have that same feeling.
I think the reason talking to someone about your life is therapeutic is because you get the recognition from them that like what you're experiencing is actually like, you know, part of life, part of the shared experience that we all have. Like what we're doing now, it's like, oh, cool, you know, we've all tried meditating and stuff like that. And I think, you know, if you're talking to a computer, I almost don't see how that would be too different from just talking to like a wall, you know. Maybe the computer can give you some advice.
What if they embodied it? What if they embodied that intelligence into something that a robot that actually like you could mistake for a human?
So like an AI.
God.
AI.
Yeah.
Well, if you could mistake it for a human, then we might be cooking with gas there.
Might already be happening, bro.
Mitch.
Which one are you guys?
So the app actually does exist, so you can actually download it, and I think the podcast actually talks about this. It's a very, very interesting.
Add it to the description for everyone.
And I think if I remember correctly, what it does is it does interact with you. It kind of touches base with you every day. How are you feeling today? And then you can actually have a conversation, and the conversation flow is actually quite smooth, I guess.
And it's only going to get better, I suppose.
Yeah.
Essentially it's the same as keeping a journal that kind of interacts with you as well.
Yeah.
So it's just prompting you to write about yourself and be like, how are you feeling? Oh, I felt this today. I was grateful for this.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
Right.
What are 3 things you like about yourself today?
Black Mirror's done this shit too. Black Mirror did this
They've
shit on
done
that Miley
everything.
Cyrus episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Remember that when they had that
The little
little robot?
Mm.
Like, I don't know, it started off with the whole like, I love you, like, you're my favourite person thing, and then
Sounds like a horror
But-
movie.
became a best friend.
For me,
There was a movie that came out that I don't recall what the title is, but basically they kind of almost extract or clone you into like this tiny thing. Do you know what it is? And into.
That was Black Mirror as well.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
And then like they know everything that you want.
Yeah, because
like,
you
the
know
way you want
it's
your toast
you.
cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But they put your conscience into like,
Ah.
a machine, into a machine.
Like a smart home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing was like, because it's your exact self and it's in a machine, it felt trapped.
Yeah.
Because it knew it. Like it had a consciousness, and then at the end, like it got old and they wanted a new version of something, so they threw it out. But essentially, you're killing like a life for you, and that was what it kind of made you think about. It's like, oh, even if
How does that make you feel about AI then? At what point do you believe
bro.
AI?
Yeah, that's how it scares me.
Oh my gosh, if we start talking about AI, I could go on for hours on that topic.
I'm walking in something right
Maybe
now.
next podcast. Get going early. But
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
actually probably should close out this episode.
Wrap this up.
anyway. Yeah.
High virtue test. Maybe we'll come back to it. Or you want to do it now?
No, let's go. Everyone clear out. All right, things got a bit crazy there, team.
That was very interesting. That was. Okay.
Had all sorts of people come in. Don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but yeah. It was a pretty interesting period there.
I think the weed factor had a.
The weed was an interesting little obstacle.
It was, yeah. Anyway.
Shout out to Mitch, though.
Thanks for being cool about it and not saying anything. High virtue test. So,
Yeah, last one. Episode 30. Thanks again, Brogan. Good shit. Let's do it.
sweet. So, OCD or hoard?
OCD.
Agreed. Comfort or adventure?
We don't need your fucking commentary after everyone.
Sorry.
Okay?
Comfort or adventure?
Venture.
Compassion or competition?
Competition.
Harmony or honesty?
Honesty.
Group or solo discussion?
Solo. That group discussion was too crazy.
Purpose or pleasure?
Purpose.
Happy and sad or content?
Happy and sad.
Question or answer?
Question. Clearly.
Curious. Power to the individual or group?
Power to the individual, yo.
Oh. Yes or no?
No.
No. He's a no man.
I'm a no man.
Right. That's 30.
That's 30. That's Scruffy Chinwags for a bit, boys. Damn.
Cheers to the boys outside.
Yeah, holla.
It's-
Shout outs to everyone who jumped on there. Shout out to everyone for tuning in. It's been good fun. We might see some more in the future. I don't know where we're at. We've got to reassess. Got to redefine my direction.
Yeah.
See where I want to
Make sure
go
you
with
know
this
your
shit.
direction.
Okay. Sure.
Sure.